Hi there. In this video, I want to go over a certain section of our stock update process. So this is section D of the sourcing process. And what I want to cover today is from D1 down to D38. And this is a good chunk of the whole process, but it's all really one relatively simple thing. But in the process, I laid it out very clearly what to do. I'm not going to follow, I'm just going to show you what to do. I'm not going to follow each one of these steps by step. But if I will say, if you do follow each of these steps, this very clearly lays out what to do. So if you kind of forget something, you don't have to come back to the video. You can just go to this, and this will show you what to do. And what this lays out is how to, before we do an upload, I've got some data hidden here, let me unhide it. Before we do an upload, so these are all received items, right? And we're trying to get this information, we're trying to push it onto the website and update the website to what is accurate. Before we do that, we have to update this current stock column. And that is because, so at some time in the past, we exported these, right? Um, Hypothetically, within a couple of weeks ago, these got exported. And at that time, we had a stock number for them. And at that time, that stock number was true. However, in the time since then, people have still placed orders, and these numbers could have changed. This current stock number could have changed. And to update the website, what we want to do is update with what our current stock is. And that is going to be this current stock number, so what we previously have in stock, plus the number that we received. However, for that to work, this number has to be accurate. And since possibly multiple weeks have passed since I downloaded this data from the website, these numbers have likely changed. People have probably placed orders for some of these parts, and some of these numbers have changed. If there's zero, too, it could be that somebody returned some of these items. And if we look in the website, it could turn out that there's actually one in stock. Well, if we add 0 plus 3, we get 3. And if we upload that to the website, we're going to say there's 3. Well, however, if somebody returned 1 during that time, this should actually be 1. We should add 1 plus 3 would be 4. So if we don't update this column, then we cannot upload accurate numbers to get our stock right. I cannot stress how important this is. That's why in the process, I laid out so many lines of like, do this, do this, do this. We have to do this every single time without fail. These numbers have to be accurate before we do an upload. Otherwise, we will get stock all kinds of off. Before we get started, I want to show you one thing. This probably should have been covered in another video, but I missed it. We've got a few assembly parts on here, and those don't need to be uploaded right now. They're going to be part of the assembly program where they get completed, and then we'll upload the finished product to the site. These are just the parts, but they're not done yet. So these don't need to be uploaded to the site. If you notice, we don't keep current stock information. We don't even keep we don't keep a lot of the information on. They don't have a real SKU. It's kind of a duplicate SKU of their actual part that they're a part of. So all you have to do right now is I'm going to change these to on ASSM. So on assembly. Okay, that way we kind of preserve their status and where they're at in the process, but they're not going to be sorted among the received items. So got rid of those. And now everything on here has a real SKU, and none are assembly parts or assembly items. And so, yeah, I just wanted to show you that real quick. If there's any assembly items on here, go ahead and just change them to on assembly, and we'll get them off. Okay, so now to get this update, we've talked about how these numbers could be out of date. Some of them, these must be new, kind of new products or something, don't even have a number on here, so we need to get all this from the website. So we do have an SKU for everything, and that will come hugely in handy before too long. But First thing you're going to want to do to start this is actually download current stock data from the website. Oops. So I need to go here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm signed in. Okay. And then go to products and let's do an export. To do this, all we need is SKU and inventory. Everything else you do not need. You can actually turn it all off. So I'm just going to go through here and remove each one of these. You can just, honestly, you can just export everything. It doesn't matter because we're going to find them by, there's a quick way to find them by SKU. So as long as you get SKU and inventory, that's all you need because that's going to have the inventory number and we use the SKU to find the products we're interested in. So just go ahead and do the export. Let's open that up. We won't need it for very long. And the website, just kind of by default, exports a few things. We don't need this row type, parent SKU, and product type. We can actually just delete all of those. And we just have the SKU and the inventory. Let's see here. So the next thing, let's go ahead and add a tab here. We're going to need an extra tab. And I want to get these SKUs. But let me show you a tip first. And this is listed. This is written out in the process. Go ahead and clear your filters. Just get everything cleared out. Make sure you're not hiding any data. And then on this, let's go sort. Let's actually hold on. So first, sort A to Z on SKU, and then sort Z to A on this. That will put all your received items at the top, sorted, and then they should be sorted, yeah, A to Z by SKU within that. Yeah, and they are. And for only your received items, so actually I'm going to, again, filter down to received items so I don't mistakenly grab an SKU that I don't want. So here are the SKUs I'm interested in. I'm going to copy those and paste them just into column A of this new. And I'm going to do a Control Shift V. Oops. Let's do Control Shift V to keep source or keep destination formatting. And that should get all our SKUs. Anyways, the next thing we need to do is find those SKUs in here. And this is the fastest way I know to do it. If you are some kind of Excel wizard and you know a better way, by all means, let me know. I will update this process because this does work, but it's a little, just requires some steps. Before we get started, you're going to need a formula. Go to Notes, go to the Notes tab in the order form, and it's this formula right here, equals not, so on and so forth. We're just going to copy that. And, oh wait, no, we need the spreadsheet. I don't have to apply a filter yet. I'm going to select this first column with the SKUs, and we're going to say conditional formatting and new rule. And then down here, use a formula to determine which cells to format. Paste that formula in there. And now you need to make sure A1, whatever, this formula is useful quite a bit if you ever just want to find some things, you know, based on a list of other things, you can use this formula. This A1 has to match this column right here. So if for some reason, whatever column you're searching in is not A, you need to change that. So if it's like B, you need to change this to B1. And then this range, we need to update. So I'm going to click this select button. We'll go to sheet 1 and just copy or select all these SKUs. Make sure you got all of them here. The better way would be just select that whole column. Input that, and then we're going to click format, and we're going to say fill. I just choose yellow. Okay, and okay. And you can see automatically, you can already see some of these are highlighted. So basically what that formula said to do is within this column, if any one of these values is in this list, highlight it. And so that way we have all of these highlighted. And I'm going to do a check here. Now at this point, let's select all our data, go to the data tab, and let's apply a filter. First, sort by color before you filter by color. So I'm going to sort by color. That gets all of our highlighted cells at the top. Now I'll filter down to that. You want to sort before you filter because it gets all of these in one block. That way you can copy and paste in a single block. Let me show you what happens just so this is clear why you're doing it in that order. I'm going to back up a few steps. Watch what happens when I filter by color first. These look like they're in a single block, but watch this when I try to copy and paste them. They are in many different blocks right here. You know, here's 1 through 3, and then it skips to 7, skips to 9, 10, skips all the way to 65. These are all spread out throughout the spreadsheet. All Excel has done is hidden the data in between them. This, I will tell you, you will not be able to copy and paste between Excel spreadsheets doing this. You have to get these as a single block first. And so let's back up again. The way to do that is to first sort by color. Now they're all together. Now we can filter by color. And now they're all contiguous in a single block right here, 2 through 29. You got to do it that way or you will mess some things up. Okay, and so let's see what our next step is going to be. We need these to be in the same order as these right here. And if you remember, before I moved these over, I went ahead and alphabetized them. So all we have to do here is alphabetize these. Okay, so we've done that. Now we want to double check. So I'm going to copy that, paste it over here, and then I'm going to say equals this equals this. And if those match, we get true. Scroll that down for all of them. Okay. And now I see I have nothing but true in this column. That means that this matches this matches this, so on and so forth. If you get one that doesn't match, so I'll just change that a little bit. You can see now, see how that's saying false. Obviously I changed it. That's not the truth. It is true. Anyways, you want to do that double check to make sure you've one that you have all of them. See, we don't have like an extra one here or one too few. We have every single SKU we looked for, and we have them all in the same order as our order form. And so now, let's delete these out of here. Now we have this data. I'm going to go ahead and just enter zeros. Anything that's blank, just go ahead and put a 0 in. All right. And here's the information we wanted. Copy that. And once again, this will work because these are contiguous as well, 2 through 29. That happened because remember I did that sort where I cleared everything and then I sorted by SKU and then by status and then I filtered. So you have to make sure this is a continuous block and what your source, what you're copying and pasting from is a continuous block as well. So, but once I have that done, I know these are all in the right order. I can copy and paste this over into the current stock column. Whoops, I should have done Control Shift V to preserve destination formatting. Okay, and with that, and let's just back up. Let's kind of look at the differences in this column. Let's see if anything changed. Yeah, so for instance, you see right here, we have this 5. That's the previous information, and then we updated it. And see, there's actually three there now. So that's the kind of thing you're looking for. You have to get this up to date. And I will say, if you ever have just one or two of these, you could always go and just search this in the back end of the website. You know, just go and look, find the product, search for it up here, find your variation, and then just check the inventory number. And you can update them that way. But I wanted to show you the larger, if you have more data to work with, you wouldn't want to go, it'd take forever just to manually check each and every one of these and update it. Um, so that's the best way to do this. Um, okay. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to cover in this video? I don't think there is, because that's going to be, after you're done with this, just so you know, you can actually just, you don't have to save anything on that. We're done with that spreadsheet once you get this updated. I will say, once, don't wait long. Once you get this updated, you need to go ahead and get this stuff uploaded to the site. This is kind of the last step before you do an upload, because if you do this and you wait a few hours or a day or something, well, people are still placing orders, these numbers are going to change, so you need to do this upload while you know that the integrity of this data is good. And so with that, I think I can go ahead and end this video. Let me just double check on this process. So that's covering all these lines right here. This explains how to do what I just showed you. And if you just follow each one of these steps, it'll lead you to to do that exact same thing. But really, it's pretty simple. It takes a few steps to get it done. Um, and yeah, I'll go ahead and end the video there. Any questions on anything, please let me know. I am glad to clarify. If you are not sure you're doing it right, ask your supervisor. It is a universal policy with us that you ask a question before you make a mistake, and that is so important with this. Getting these numbers wrong and uploading the wrong numbers changes things monetarily. It changes the value of our company. It changes, it will cause what we say we have on the website to be different from what we have in the shop. And when we go to count our stock, it'll either items will come up too many or items will come up missing, and then money exchanges hands. And anytime that's going on, this is just so important that we get this right. Do not make a mistake when you do this process. No mistakes are acceptable. So always ask a question. If you're worried about doing something wrong, ask your supervisor before you mess something up. I cannot stress how important this part of the process is. So anyways, like I said, I will end the video there. Any questions, let me know. Thank you.